welcome back to my channel, TorAthena, where today I am reviewing slash really just talking to you about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's the title, right? For some reason I always get it wrong, but you know which one I'm talking about. Excuse the hat, it's really cold. So like always, I'm too lazy to actually do a review because a review isn't an opinion, it's a non-biased review. But this is more my opinion because I'm lazy, and so what I do is when I go to the cinema, I write down my thoughts as I watch the film and then I tell you my thoughts. The worst thing is when the film's really, really good, I don't really have so many thoughts because all I'm doing is sitting there going, this is really, really good. Which is kind of what happened in this film. So spoiler alert, I really enjoyed it. Also, spoiler alert, this review will be full of spoiler alerts. So don't watch it if you haven't seen the film. But go watch it, then watch this because it's a really good film and I like discussing it with people. So yeah, I'm just gonna, in chronological order, because I watch it, you know what, okay, I'm gonna start. I loved how Peter Parker seemed fed up of telling his own origin story. I liked that. It was like, okay, for the final time. And it's kind of, I liked how very knowing it was. Like, we know, we know, we know, you know, we know, we all know, okay? I liked that. The animation is jaw-dropping. That's what I wrote. No, it was. The animation was absolutely inspired. I said when I came out the cinema, I hate it when I don't have a bad thing to say about a film because no film is perfect, even when it's about my boy Spider-Man. So I had to really dig deep and find something, and the only thing I would say if I had to really look for something is the animation, no matter how flawless and fluid it looked, is sometimes when it was either very slow where there was no action really happening. I don't know whether it was on purpose or not, but it seemed a bit jarring sometimes. And I'm not talking about the glitches, I'm talking about the frame rate of animation. And it was now and again in spots in the film a little stuttery and it was a little weird, but I am really looking for problems at this point. Introducing the characters with the name tags in the very beginning I really liked, just because it was cute, it was new. It was like, hi, I'm Peter Parker, and you write Peter Parker. And then you see Miles, and it's one of his like tag stickers, and I was like, that's clever. One thing they did almost instantly was truly capture Miles Morales' like teenage angst. So it's not that he's this little emo kid, he is genuinely an everyday teenager. He just wants to go to the school he wants to go to with his friends, where his friends are. He doesn't want to drive at the back of his dad's police van or car. He gets nervous around girls and he's excited that puberty will start. You know, he is literally just every kid, and we've all been through that. Miles' dad making him say he loves him through the car was one of the funniest things I've seen, because my dad would have done that and I am gonna do that to my children. So it was very funny. Copy that. I thought the glitch work on the spider or anyone was beautiful, but the first time you really see it was on the spider, and I don't know what it was, it just kind of took my breath away and got me giddy and excited, and I loved it. I'm really annoyed at myself though, because I kept noticing the number 42 and I told myself I'm gonna do research so I don't look an idiot and I know what I'm talking about when I talk about comics, and I forgot to research and I've just quickly googled it and I can't find anything, but I'm sure it's a thing. And I remember there was 42 on the spider, and when Miles Morales falls off a building there was 4 and 2 landed next to him, and then I quickly remembered the first appearance of Mary Jane is issue 42, but why would that be referencing that? And I got confused. So if anyone like knows, don't laugh at me, but you know, tell me. One thing I loved about this film, and it was one of the biggest beefs I kind of had with Aquaman, comparing the two comic films I've seen recently. Aquaman had a very rigid and hard to sit through at times dialogue. It was incredibly 90s action. When I was a 12-year-old and I used to daydream about Leonardo DiCaprio letting me live in his house because I won a competition and then he falls in love with me. Like, it's that kind of dialogue. It's someone's just thinking something up in the head. It's not how people really communicate. In this, it's so organic, it's so natural, it's so believable. It is like you are just sitting there watching someone have a conversation. And I know that sounds stupid. I know that sounds like, well, obviously that's one of the easiest things to do. It actually isn't. When you read comic books a lot, one of the things that people mess up the most, and it's one of the most noticeable things, is when you have really unrealistic, unbelievable dialogue. It just kind of ruins it. I adored the initial bite scene with the anticlimactic perfect. One thing that I adored, and I am convinced they did this on purpose, was that visual comic book narrative. All of a sudden it'd say sometime later, or it's thought to be like, oh no, in comic boxes that only appeared after the bite. I noticed that and I adored that. It was a beautiful add-on. It was a beautiful, clear depiction that something was different, something had changed. It was a beautiful homage to the comic books themselves. It was just beautiful. I cried 4 times in this film. The first time was when I saw Peter Parker die for the first time, and it hit me because you might not know this, but Spider-Man is my like favorite character. He's my boy. He's what I collect in comic books. Next to my bed I have a giant Spider-Man bust. If it wasn't covered in Gizmo's literal like Gizmo the teddy and hats, I would show you. But you know, he's my boy and I love him, and to watch him die, I'll never be ready for that. Watching Miles easily jump over the gate after he's had the spider bite, running away from the enemies, was a really nice touch, because it was very clear that was the gate he struggled to climb over before he got bitten. It didn't need him to climb over it and look back and be like, whoa, look what I just did. They didn't do that. It was a very quick, oh, he jumped over the gate. You either notice it or you don't, and you either register it as, oh, he can do that now, or you don't. It was great. It was so subtle, and this film was full of those little storytelling pieces that they didn't need to spell out to you. Okay. So when he gets back and the montage starts playing, truly not embracing but focusing on that Peter Parker is dead, Spider-Man is no more, and he's gone. And Miles goes to buy a Spider-Man outfit, and Stan Lee is there, and he says, I'm gonna miss him. He was one of my favorites. I started bawling, and in my head I was like, we're gonna miss you? And he gave this beautiful speech, and I'm not quoting it because I didn't write it down, but it was something like, we can all be the hero, we can all wear the mask. That was the beauty of Spider-Man. I kind of know that Stan Lee's probably gonna have a cameo in Avengers 4, but I kind of wish he didn't. I kind of wish that was the last message that we heard Stan Lee's voice saying. I just thought it was very powerful. Ah, get it together, Lucy. I really liked that, you know, it's a very typical thing to watch a person become a hero. You know, it's a very, like I said, there's nothing original about this story. There's nothing unique about it. It's just told exceptionally well, which is fine. There's only like 7 genres or 7 plots in existence, you know. Nothing is truly original, but some are just told better. But this was told exceptionally well. But we have seen the person train or evolve to become the hero many a times. It's not just with superheroes. Like, look at Rocky, for example. We watch them fall before they realize they have to get back up, and that's where they succeed. I really liked his journey in this film. Miles really struggles. I like that he really falls off buildings. He doesn't run and make it because he has to. He falls. He falls and he doesn't make it for a very long time, and he doesn't succeed just because he has to. He succeeds because he never stops, and no matter how many times he got knocked down, he always got up. And that was one of the beautiful, inspiring messages about this film, and reminded me why I love Spider-Man so much. I'm getting too emotional again. The integration of just being this animated film with comic book story was incredible. It was flawless. I think it's one of the best I've seen. So it would be in a simple case of Miles running down the road and little pockets of comic box narrative of no would follow him. It would flawlessly go to show a plan, and it would show the plan of their imagination mapping it out in comic panel form. It wasn't overdone to be like, hey, it's a comic book, and it wasn't underdone so it was like, oh, it's just a cheesy gimmick they did once or twice. They did it the perfect amount that you are watching a comic book come to life. You are being reminded of why you love reading comics, and you are having that complete and utter enjoyment of watching what you love come to life. It's a really tiny point, as I'm not a massive Spider-Gwen fan, but I loved when they did her flashback of her origin story. I loved that they changed all the tones to match her comic book palette. I adored Kingpin's motivation in this. It was so simple, it was so humble, and it was so comic book like appropriate. Kingpin will happily risk destroying every universe just to get his wife back. And I love that about Kingpin, and that's why Kingpin is one of my favourite villains, because he has so much real depth to him. He is this cold-blooded murderer who will give no thought to erasing whatever gets in his way, but his goal in his head is good. He is doing it because he thinks he can make the world a better place, or he does it for the love of his wife. He will do anything above all else to be with his wife. He would stop everything for her. He loves her more than life itself. I truly believe that, and that's why this very, very simple motivation is more than enough and believable for his character to do, and I loved that. And it's also very humble as well. I think that's also why I love this, because I think it's also intriguing to show two sides of even a villain. Even a cold-blooded murderer can love. Even a murderer has a heart. Even a villain isn't a villain to everyone, and I like the play on that side. That's good writing. Although he killed Spider-Man, so he can fuck off. I don't know why it was all too much at this point, but when Peter B. Parker met May, I cried. The music in this was brilliant. Like, honestly, I didn't know a single song. I wouldn't have known a single song. I don't think I would have chosen the music they had as well, but I'm glad they did. I actually really liked a lot of the songs, and I want to find the soundtrack out, and I just feel like it all fitted together. It was new, it was modern, it was fresh, it was young, which I am not ticking that box more and more every day, but I liked it. I liked it. I liked the new image they gave this film, the feeling they gave this film. It was so good. Now, this is really weird. I've written Miles' realization and transition montage to becoming the hero he needs to be was perfect. I can't really remember that. Which one? Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, these sparks and everything and stuff. It was good. Oh, my camera's about to die. Miles being the only person to fight the Kingpin was not something I expected to see, but it was perfect because it was to show that Spider-Man is capable, more than capable, and doesn't need anyone else. He is now Spider-Man. And when Miles says to Peter P. Parker, I can't let Spider-Man die, it was a sentence that made it hit. It was too strong, too much. It was a good film. I'm gonna have to cut this short because my battery's about to go, but that was actually my last note. I really loved this film. It's a 9.5 for me. It was beautiful, it moved me, it was great, and it wasn't just because it was Spider-Man. It was a great film. Please comment below what you thought. Did you think it was good or did you not? I want to see how much you agree with me. I do these videos because I like talking about films and no one's here to talk to me about them. Probably because I cry too much. Thank you. Please like and subscribe because it helps out the channel. Pledge on my Patreon if you want more videos, because the moment I make money out of this, I'll do it more. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.